Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome today to the review of a unicorn. It's a micro brand watch for less than $100. I don't think I've ever seen one before, and I've certainly never reviewed one before. Most times micros start at around $299, sometimes dipping down to $249, but generally never below that. The sub $100 stuff that I review therefore generally either Casio's or the AliExpress stuff. But today it's a microbrand watch by Revelo called the Universal, and the first 200 units of each of the two different sizes are being sold for $89. Now, the normal price on these is, shock horror, $125, but there's a 10% email sign up. You'll never pay more than $112.50 for one of these. Now, I said there were two available sizes. There's a 40mm and a 36mm in a bunch of different colour versions. Revelo are not hiding the fact that they're pitching the largest size to men and the smaller size to women. So I thought it was only fair that I get a guest reviewer to help me today. None other than Mrs. Jonwa, of course. Now, my wife is notoriously hard to please when it comes to watches. As you can imagine, I have shown her hundreds of them over the years, and most get little more than a disinterested shrug of the shoulders. But when I showed her this Revelo, she was like, "Ooh, can I have that one, please?" Wonders will never cease. Now, you saw the pop-up. This video is sponsored by Revelo. These watches go on sale this month, 31st of August. I'll leave a link to their website in the description of the video. Mrs. Jonwa is waiting patiently. It's best not to keep a lady waiting. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. Alright, before I even get into the box today, I want to show you some of their official press shots. Not because I'm lazy, of course, but to demonstrate the sheer number of different permutations and combinations of this watch that are available. Not only do we have two sizes, I believe there are three different case finishes. There's stainless steel, there's rose gold, and there is yellow gold. There's a salmon dial, there's a silver dial, there's a whole bunch of different combinations, and that's before we even get on to strap colours. Now, Kevin, the brand owner, as discussed, has made no secret of his desire to sell gentlemen the 40mm and ladies the 36, preferably two at a time, couples watches. I'm not sure though how many of these colour combinations are going to be agreeable to both parties. I think some will definitely be preferred by gentlemen, whereas others will definitely be preferred by ladies. Anyway, I'm sure many people will use this as a great excuse. Darling, I just bought you a watch. And look, there happens to be one inside for me as well. And there is the watch. Now, I'm going to concentrate on the 40 because it will fill the camera lens better than the 36, but of course I will show you both. And Mrs. Jonwa actually has a different version. She'll be appearing with hers shortly. So this one is the kind of salmon pink golden colour with blue hand stainless steel and a mid chestnut brown strap. I don't think that looks like an $89 watch. What do you think? Again, Kevin, the brand owner, very upfront, not an original design. The Universal indeed is an acknowledgement of that. This one was inspired by the Universal Genève pole router with the waffle dial, one of Gerald Genta's earlier and less heralded designs. So 40mm in diameter, only 8.6mm thick. Rare that I come across a watch under a centimetre. It's a quartz movement, so there's a couple of mil saved that way, but yeah, still nice and slim. 45.4mm lug tip to lug tip, 20mm between the lugs. This one on the supplied leather band is only 46 grams. That is domed sapphire crystal, 50 meters of water resistance from a push-pull crown. The movement in this one is an Epson VX. The 36 is oddly enough 36mm in diameter, even slimmer at 8.2, 39mm lug to lug, 18 between the lugs. It weighs only 40 grams, so 10 grams lighter than the larger watch. Again, sapphire crystal, 50 meters of water resistance, and the same Epson VX 2-hand plus date. $89, you wouldn't necessarily expect fancy case finishing, which is good because you don't get any. Three-piece case, the majority of it is high polish. There is a little bit of linear brushing on those upper lug surfaces, but hey, you get sapphire. Looks like it's single dome. There's a little bit of distortion at the edges of the viewing angles, but it's not too bad actually considering the price of the watch. Press on case back, this is their 18th watch, hence R18. Japanese quartz movement, sapphire crystal, 5 atmospheres, 31XL stainless steel, and Swiss loom. There's a little bit of C3 superluminova on those two hands. They're a Malaysian company, and that is the Malaysian star from the Malaysian flag. The leather straps are actually quite nice. Again, they're fully branded with the company logo there. They are quick release. Now the hardware, not branded on the upper surface, but a nice touch, it is branded on the underside. Kind of padded embossed at the top edge there, decent stitching. Now I have been wearing this one, plus it's a prototype. Not sure if it's going to last years, put it that way, but yeah, it'll be nice and comfortable until it does eventually fall apart and need replaced. Switch to the macro lens and have a look at this dial then. Once again, that little circular logo, the star logo, features at the top there, along with the brand name. Dial is really pretty. I popped in the picture earlier on of the Universal with this waffle style dial. There's a circular brush to the outer section with minute markers, 1/5 of a minute markers, and these little blue applied indices, double batons on the compass points, singles everywhere else, and they have a linear brush just like the two hands. Quite an easy watch to read. It's a watch that looks larger than it is because there's no chapter ring or anything. It is all dial, this one. And if you've been wondering what that little circle down there beneath the pinion and above the index at 6 is, it's a date complication. It's possibly the world's smallest date complication. Single digits perhaps will be okay, but double digits, it's just tiny. You really need sharp eyes to see it. Yeah, nice that they did it, but kind of why did they bother in some respects? The dial would have looked even cleaner if they hadn't. That's it on wrist. I've got a 7-inch wrist for your reference. I will show you both of these on my wrist. I have no problem wearing a 36, but I'd definitely be picking the 40 out of the two for me. At 50 grams, it's a light watch. It's not a particularly obtrusive watch. It's a short lug to lug as well. And a comfortable leather strap, even if I'm not sure how long it will last. But really, it's the dial. Look at that. It's lovely. I haven't seen too many dials nicer than this one for less than 100, and never on a micro brand. And that's the 36 on me. Yeah, mid-century sizing, shall we say. I'd definitely be going for the 40. It's wearable though, if you prefer a smaller watch. And yeah, it's the same issue with the strap on this one. That kind of upper surface looks like it's coming off a little bit too easily. That's the overhead shot, plenty of legibility because it's all dial and because those two hands are fairly sizable as well. I do like this kind of salmon gold coloured one. The silver one also looks good. I'd be sticking with the stainless steel case myself rather than heading in the direction of the rose gold or yellow gold. And there we are, that's the 36 again. Like I said, wearable if you have a smaller wrist or you just prefer a smaller watch, you want to go for that. Universal mid-1950s look from your watch, and like that size, but I prefer the 40 myself. And that's the two side by side. Before I get into the moans and niggles section, I better bring in the biggest moan and niggle in my life, Mrs. Jomwa. Alright, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, folks. Drum roll, please. Welcome to the channel, Mrs. Jomwa, or Mrs. Jomwa's arm at the very least. How are you today, my darling?
I'm well, and it's Ms.
It's Ms. Jomwa. There is a reason why I haven't had you on the channel before. Now, Ms. Jomwa, you do have an extensive watch collection, do you not?
I guess so.
Featuring some big Swiss brands such as Longines, Raymond Feel, and Tudor. But
And a guess.
And a guess. We don't talk about that one. Which watch do you wear every day, though?
I have been wearing a Casio every day.
Until now, that is?
Yes.
You've been wearing this one for the last 10 days?
Yes.
And do you think it will take over as your everyday watch?
Yes.
And why do you think that? What do you like about it?
I like that
Give us a wrist roll, please, while you're doing it. There we are. Come on. Have you not watched any of my videos?
No.
I've only made 1,000.
I like that it looks quite dressy.
Yes.
And I like the colours.
Yes.
And it's very comfortable.
Oh, that's good.
I also like this date we have
Ooh.
down here.
It is a microscopic date, though. Your eyes are better than mine if you can see that.
And it's got glow-in-the-dark handles.
It does have glow-in-the-dark handles. It has sapphire crystal as well, so you're not going to scratch it, and it has a reasonable level of water resistance, so you can get it wet while you are bathing our son. Now, I told you how much this one cost, didn't I?
Yes.
$89 US.
Yes.
Do you think that's a fair price?
Yes, I think so. It would have been nice to have some
Diamonds?
Well, not diamonds, but what are the other ones? Zirconia.
Zirconium, yeah.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Jonwa likes bling, likes shiny diamonds. Her Grail watch is a Chopard
Happy heart.
Happy Heart.
Or happy sport.
Oh, I'll put a picture of those two in there now. Maybe one day, Ms. Jonwa, but you're going to have to buy that for yourself because I ain't spending £9 on a quartz Chopard for you. That is for sure, my love. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for your input today. I'm delighted that after 6 years of running the channel, I've finally been able to give you a watch that you have enjoyed and not just shrugged your shoulders at. That's you done. You can take a 50 out of my wallet.
Oh, great.
That was a joke, by the way.
I'll have it.
There's nothing in my wallet. We both know that. Sorry about that rude interruption. Yeah, you can see why my wife is into this one. Simple, quartz. It's going to stay looking good because of the sapphire crystal, comfortable band, and of course, luminous handles. I'm surprised she didn't reference Genta. It must have been on the tip of her tongue. Anyway, moans and niggles. Well, that date complication is obscenely small. It's so small, it may as well not be there. Only 2 hands, so you're never going to time anything all that accurately, but that's not what this watch is about, is it? And the 2 hands means you'll never know that it's quartz. I have questioned the long-term durability of these straps. There is a mesh option for a few dollars more, perhaps. That's the one to go for if you're wearing this watch as a daily. I mentioned Lume, but it's barely worth more than I mentioned C3 Superluminova on the 2 hands, nothing on the dial itself. Looks kind of passable initially, doesn't really last the duration of my test. Yeah, I guess for the price and for this style it's okay, but yeah, it's not amazing. And yeah, I think some of the colour versions work better than some of the other colour versions. Again, the 2 different sizes have a bearing in that as well, and their intended recipients also. Yeah, so make sure your expectations aren't ridiculously high, and I think you'll be impressed with what you receive if you go for one of these. It is a very good looking dial, and if you like the idea of having the same watch or the same style of watch as your partner, then you are not going to be short of different options. So there you have it. Don't expect a luxury watch for $89 because you're not going to get one, but it's a nice design and a very pretty dial, and I have no doubt that the 2 size thing will be used to justify many double purchases of this one. If you don't fancy this one, but you don't fancy spending more than $100, check out the Pagani Philippe or the Casio Vintage Premium A1000. Both have unisex appeal. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next one.